many of you feel completely understood by the people around you? Now, when I ask this question in workshops all over the world for the past 10 years, nobody puts their hand up. This gives us a big opportunity to connect with people, because one of the strongest drivers we have, one of the strongest needs we have, is to feel understood by the people around us. So how do you do that? Well, one way of looking at this is to think about this whole concept of values. We think in terms of values. We ask ourselves questions quite regularly, and we decide on answers depending upon what's important to us. And we literally look at the world with these filters. I mean, recently I was at a major show, thousands of people there were carnival rides and things going on, and I was there with my 8-year-old son, Blake, and I managed to lose him. Now, of thousands of people in that whole show, I just flooded my mind with him, and suddenly he disappeared. I could see him in front of me. It's a bit like when you want to buy a new car, you suddenly see that car all over the road. You're literally magnifying some things and deleting others. So how does this work in practice when you want to really understand somebody? One of the best thoughts in this area comes from Edward de Bono. He said, every decision we make involves values. Now, there's two sorts of decisions you're likely to be making. One decision is whether or not to do something, and the second is to decide between alternatives. If you think about cars, you decide, will I buy a new car or not? Yes, I'll buy a new car. Then you think, which car will I buy? Now, both of these decisions involve values, and it's understanding these values that will help you understand other people a lot better. So what is a value? A value is simply something that you consider important to either desire or avoid. And there's 4 things about their values in a business sense that you need to understand. The first is what they are. Like, just say, for example, you're working on a project and you ask the person you're working with, what's most important to you in this project? And you might say, it's security, it's timeliness, and it's engaging all the key stakeholders. So next question is, what's the most important one of those? He may answer, security is the most important, a sense of certainty of outcome. And I might think, well, I know what security means. I need to know more about what he means. So I'll say, what does security mean to you? Now, he could give a whole range of answers. He could be saying, well, it means financial security. It might mean security in terms of process. It might mean security in terms of making sure there's no terrorist or bomb threats or threats to people. Could be a whole range of things. And he'll say, well, what it means to me is the certainty we get by following a proper project management process. But there's one more thing we need to know. I might say, what should we do most to avoid here? And he would say something like, what I want to avoid most is looking bad in front of the boss. So there are 4 key things to know in a business sense in terms of how these values work.